everyone, Dennis Speigel here. I want to talk to you about a very important subject that our industry must always carefully consider, and that is discounting of admission tickets. It's interesting to note that just this week I came across an article I wrote for the industry back in 2010, 12 years ago. It was entitled, "It's All About Discounting and Earnings." I wrote it during difficult recessionary times, much like what we face today, only within different circumstances. When I wrote the article, we had not yet broken the $100 front gate price barrier. Six Flags was emerging from bankruptcy, and Cedar Fair was struggling to restructure debt after its overpayment of the Paramount parks. So to increase revenues and earnings, many parks at that time were significantly discounting their ticket prices, often by way too much, causing consumers to take a wait and watch approach for these discounts. Consumers were actually calling parks to ask when the next special was or how to get the most recent coupons could be found. I'm not saying that discounting is bad, but it has to be properly managed. For many years, I've said our industry has unfortunately been too discount intensive. To cope with economic issue, parks have in the past become too reliant on intense discounting as a way to cope with attendance declines. The resultant impact was declining per capitas and revenues. The old adage, "I'll accept the dilution if it's offset by the volume," has not held up. Many times, large discounts have eroded profitability. I've always believed that controlling and reducing discounts is a priority for our industry. Now, since I wrote that article 12 years ago, discounting has continued to play a huge part in the admissions philosophies, but not to the extent it did a decade ago. This is a positive sign, but will it stay this way? Also, today, we're facing a consumer market that's undergone COVID, the shutdown of attractions, and home lockdowns. And as a result, is releasing pent-up demand in ways we've never experienced before. Thus far, 2022, there seems to be little, if any, pushback from consumers on paying the full price, non-discounted ticket to visit attractions. So the question to consider is, are parks discounting today correctly, and do they need to? The Memorial Day holiday we just ended here in the US was an indicator as to how theme parks and attractions are approaching discounting of front gate pricing, whether through online, advanced sales, multi-day tickets, or vacation packages. And what we found was very, very, very interesting and varied among the different operators. Online advanced purchase ticket discounting is one of the more common trends among operators today. For Memorial Day weekend, we found that this discount options varied greatly. From parks we examined, we saw discounts from 35 to 50% off published front gate pricing. We also saw this level of discounting last year. In the international market, we found online tickets at a discount of between 35 and 45% in Europe, but only about 10% in the Middle East. We assume seasonal differentiality. For multi-day ticket discounts, we found Universal offering about a 30% discount over the purchasing of a single day park ticket. And for hotel packages, Disney was offering a 30% discount in 2019, which increased to 35% in 2021. And now they've dropped it back down to 25% for 2022. Something else important to mention, many parks such as Six Flags over Georgia and Cedar Point in Ohio were offering a special for the holiday season. This was a summer pass, which includes unlimited admissions and parking from Memorial Day through Labor Day. The Six Flags summer pass at Georgia was priced at $60, less than a one-day ticket. And Cedar Point was selling its summer pass at $99, just slightly higher than a non-discounted one-day ticket. We also noted that these specials have now been extended beyond Memorial Day. So how long will these extensions be around? It's not known at this time. But what does it tell us, really? It tells us that discounting at this point is necessary. In recent earnings calls, operators have addressed this very topic of ticket discounting. Six Flags reported that admissions per capita for the first quarter increased by 38% over the first quarter of the previous year. This was a $10 admissions per capita increase. They reported that this increase in admission spending was part of their new premium pricing strategy and was driven by higher realized ticket prices from both single-day tickets and higher revenues from memberships. Salim Basul, CEO of Six Flags, said this, and I quote, "Raising prices is no easy task for a company that's trained customers for decades to expect big discounts. And there's already been some pushback from guests who are reluctant to pay our higher prices. One thing we should not be doing is suddenly to stop short after a couple of quarters and start discounting again. So we're not going to do that," end quote. Yet, we saw Six Flags offering one of the largest online discounts during the holiday weekend, with many of their parks offering 50% discounts if they bought online. According to Brian Witherow, Chief Financial Officer for Cedar Fair, since reopening, he said, "We've increased prices and reduced discounts on tickets at all of our parks." And recently, Mark Swanson, CEO of SeaWorld, said, "We're seeing double-digit pricing increases on the in-park products in most cases. We're getting the pricing. We have the pricing power. People are coming out and they're spending," end quote. And now this is a positive statement that speaks volumes to the general spending tendency of the consumers today. So what does all this mean? In short, parks are still discounting through multi-day packets, hotel and vacation packages, and online or advanced ticket sales. But the level of deep or extended discounting is not where it was a decade ago, which, as I mentioned at the outset, is very positive. Dynamic or surge pricing that Disney and others have adopted has had an impact on changing the overall ticket pricing philosophies. And we'll see more of that in the future. We hear park chains saying that they do not need to discount at this time, yet we see online discounts of up to 50% off of walk-up ticket prices. We've always known we've been a market up and market down industry. That's never changed and never will. Just needs to be controlled. I frankly believe that the deep or extended monetary discounting should not be prioritized over a price-value relationship experience. Discounts must be carefully managed, especially in times like today when consumers are not as price resistant. Remember, our industry can be cyclical. As this pent-up demand begins to wane, and as it surely will do at some point, it will pay to be ready on preparing your discounting approaches and philosophies. So be sure you carefully read the signals and monitor them closely. We're not the packaged goods industry that has time when selling its product to test, and retest. We must be prepared to call audibles when as required, both on the increase side and the decrease side. The old saying, "Make hay when the sun shines," is never truer than during our operating seasons. Have a good season.